Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, and today we're checking in with Jeb from clan LTWHR. And yes, it is a Artie replay. I haven't done one of these in a while, but he is running the FV207 with the small gun. The 305 is actually pretty nasty with its smaller gun. I'm imagining this thing is definitely fairly nasty with its smaller gun. So it's got a 6-inch, I believe, what I can tell here, looking at the Mark V, and it's got a 5.5-inch BI, something like that. So this thing is going to reload really quickly. It's showing about 26 seconds. That's the base level, so you get Brothers in Arms and a rammer and vents or whatever, and you can probably increase this food. And I think it's going to reload pretty quickly. Unfortunately, the replays don't usually show the reload time specifically, but let's watch how fast the shots come off. And disgustingly, our friend Jeb has a 2-marked artillery. It's a terrible thing to do to your friends and to the game. We are going to take the obligatory shots at Artie. He's a tier 8 and a tier 10 battle. Takes a poke at the IS-7 and misses. This is a decent little spot right here for Artie. Actually gives you some options and kind of sneaking shots onto the guys in the middle right there. The Ho-Ri, that's an unwise position with Artie in the game. Does the oblique angle, takes a shot, gets a couple critical hits, and does a whole 176. That's the thing about the small gun, my friends. You're not going to do a whole bunch of alpha to these guys, but you can absolutely harass the snot out of them. Especially the speed at which this thing's going to reload in a tier 10 battle. They're going to feel like it's absolutely raining. Goes to the oblique, and this is what you can do here. You can sneak shots right into the... Poor guy. Eats a 146. So it's little chips. He's taking little pokes and prods and chipping away at the hit points. Also the stun. There is stun on this particular gun, so it's not a whole bunch, but it is annoying as heck, right? So this dude is just done with being stunned. And that's a replay artifact right there. I'm not really sure exactly what happened there, but he banks another shot, unless he was actually moving. I'm not sure. Looked like he was moving his hole. Poor Super's sitting there. He's just been stunned. And look at this. Watch, the stun will go away. There is a 40-43. And he takes another poke at him. It looks like he maybe missed totally on that one. He's just looking for a way to be useful. Notice that he's just shooting over here. This is where all the lights are. If you take a look over on the east side of the map, there's nothing doing. You can note that there's probably an Artie straight behind the Super Conqueror if you saw where that shot came out from. One of the nice things about the oblique look is you can get a really good view of where the shots are coming from the enemy. Also notice he's moving every time he shoots. This is a really good idea, just in case somebody decides to try counter Artie. It's not that common anymore, but every now and again, and especially if you don't move at all, you're going to get hit. Now, he doesn't want to move too much because he wants to get set up, and this thing reloads so fast, he doesn't really have to. There we go. Oh, look at this. Maybe this poor 176. Going to sneak it right in between. Let's see what happens. See, now, unfortunately, for us anyway, he's not staying around to watch his work. He's going to move and get out of the way because he doesn't want to be countered by the other Artie. I'd be careful with this position right here, man. Kind of out in the open, but let's see what happens. Looks like the enemy team's far enough back that they're not going to get hit. This poor 705, he's about to learn that Slapski, it's not Slapski. If I've called you that, I apologize. I just did that video. Jeb is going to pay attention to him again. And the 705's like, great. He's shooting at me again. TS-54 hanging out in the backside back here. Guess it was, if it was good enough for the Ho-Ri, it's good enough for the TS-54. I don't know if I take that shot. Alright, so we got action now over in the east. He decides to shift his focus and kind of takes a stab at that guy moving. Getting himself reset. Looks like his heavies are handling things. TVP is kind of a juicy target for the artillery. If you can get a shot on this guy, maybe that dude will stop and try to fight. Oh, that's a bummer. I might follow him a bit, especially if he comes around the corner and gets lit. There's that replay artifact again, kind of sliding around. Goes to oblique and back to the Super Conqueror that he thumped earlier. He's going to watch that one. All right. Every once in a while, you got to watch your work, right? You want to see the results of your hard work. Watches that one go in. He has noted that he hasn't been countered. I haven't heard any shots come in his way. That doesn't mean somebody won't change their mind. Oh, he goes over the Foch, so he's going after the camping guy. Going to go to oblique. It's Son of Warchild. But that doesn't mean they're not going to eventually get bored or take a shot or get some SA. Maybe they're in the Blike view and they see your shot go out. Now they have a better general idea of where you are. Decides not to go after those guys and moves back into the heavy zone. There goes another artillery shot. So one of them is up on the hill. The analogous hill, right? The other one over here. So one's there and one seemed to be back kind of in this area over here. By the cap or so. Could move. Just because they're there at one point doesn't mean they'll be there the whole time. The thing about a little gun like this in artillery, it is useful for tracking and stunning and taking little chips off of people, but it's not a huge fear factor for the enemy tanks. Notice, like the 705, he's not going to move, right? And he's annoyed he's getting chipped at, but it's unlikely to force someone to move. If you hit somebody with a 53-55 or a T92 or a GC with the big gun and you're shedding, you know, 300, 400 hit points off of them, sometimes you can get them to abandon the position, and that can be useful as well. Generally, the little guns don't do that, or at least they don't do it as well. Chieftain's making a little push. One of the other cool things about a gun like this is that is a bummer. One of the other cool things about a gun like this is just the sheer amount of shots that come out. You can support many different places. It also keeps the enemy team guessing a bit. They're not exactly sure where he's going to be shooting next. So you take a couple shots at the chieftain, he goes, well shit, now I'm gonna have to do something else, right? Goes and hides or whatever. Now you just shift your focus somewhere else because you're gonna get a reload really quickly, and you start bothering somebody else in the enemy team. Although he did track this guy. At 80 hit points, no, I was gonna say he's not very smart. The Artie's gonna get him, but too late. Gonna wait for the Ho-Ri to come around the corner. I like this. A little support on the push. Puts another thump on that guy. It looks like his heavies are... Well, they're holding the line. I was about to say that it looks like they're starting to lose, but they're okay now. That push over there, though, is dying. The push on the east side is not doing well. TS-54 looks like he repositioned over to that entire side. This is a good shot here where we can potentially get a blast into the back deck. So anytime you're shooting at the back of the tank, sometimes you can try to get that shot straight into the back deck. There's a lot of dispersion, randomness going on there, but at least that back deck is definitely exposed. And the turret's not in the way, right? If you're shooting from the front, turret sticks up, and a lot of times the turret will block it. Got one. So he's thumping him. I wouldn't say any of those are actually a pen yet. So he's supporting. Let's just take a look at the map. I like this right here. So he's supporting where he's supporting where the fight is right now, right? Yeah, there's a 57 Heavy and a 54 E1 against the T54 E1, but right now there's a face-to-face fight right here. And you'll notice the enemy Artie is actually supporting that as well. So he's taking a shot at the low. And this is where Artie, like this, chipping away at him, can create a huge advantage for his team. Is he going to thump him with this? Oh, that hurt. That hurt. And I know you watch this as well. You see the guy you're fighting, you're in a brawl. You see the guy you're fighting gets stunned. Maybe gives you an opportunity to poke out and take a shot before he can reload. It certainly makes his shot less accurate. You get a blind kill right here. No, that's unfortunate. Either didn't hit him or guy wasn't there, one of the two. So now he's moving around. All right, there's nothing doing there. So be careful with your artillery. Yeah, you're supporting it. Now he's back over there, so he was looking for another shot. Right now, there's nothing for him really to shoot at. There we go. But be careful about waiting too long for shots in situations like that. You may be losing shots elsewhere. About this time, I might start looking, especially if they're all dark, I might start looking for the enemy artillery. One way you could do that is just kind of position your view over here. Right, you know that guy's over here somewhere. The other one came from about this area. Although I would imagine, based on how far forward the green team has pushed, he's probably repositioned. And my thought is, I'm betting they're both up on the hill right now. But let's find out where they get lit. Progetto's got it. There he is. Oh, he's way in the back. All right. Probably want to go to a Blike view. Nope, doesn't matter. He did, but didn't matter because that guy died. All right, so take a look at the entire map. This is one thing you can do with artillery and the top-down view that you're using. Notice that the green team owns pretty much 4/5 of the map all across here. There's really more than likely nothing has snuck through. That would be highly unusual. The 55 was last seen there. The 54 was last seen, so he's got to be probably on the back edge of these factories somewhere. And more than likely both artillery up here, although one might be hanging out in a bush down here. You never know. So he's going to reposition his view over to this area. Tree goes down, so all of a sudden we know. Oh, he moved it. Oh, sorry. That's what's going on there. I wasn't showing the right view. He tried to shoot where he saw the tree go down. That was good. Good move. And when you have such a fast reload, you can kind of make those decisions. That's a harder one to justify if you're sitting on, say, a 36, 40-second reload on a bigger artillery. Taking a stab at something like that. So he's going to guess he's right there by the Hulk. Someone's clicking there. That must be... So it looks like maybe that other artillery is still hanging out down there in that low spot. The Lurva's moving up. He may get him some SAP here pretty soon. There he is. Goes into a blank. Oh, there we are. All right. Oh, not quite. We have some stuff in the way. We take a stab at him. Take a little chunk out of him. All right. Looks like the 40-43 was actually in that flat down there. So he wasn't bright enough to get out of the way. And now we're just hunting the last few. And it looks like more than likely both of those guys are going to be sitting back here. So unless you actually see a tracer go out, I probably wouldn't shoot at anything until somebody gets close enough to light them. And this is a great point where you might see that tracer go out and be able to take a stab at a counter arty. It looks like people are blind firing into the known bushes right there. Into the bushes they can see. Because if you take that blind fire, there he is. All right. Okay, so he takes the more sure Foch 155 spot and gets 135 out of it. But he did see the tracer go out. So I would have been tempted to go after the arty because it is fun to blind fire him and kill him off of tracers. But he took the more sure damage. Yep, there he is. And that guy actually backed up. I like this. He's just going to ignore the 40-43. Someone's going to kill him, although he may have got the kill at this point. He might have been able to do it. He's waiting for the more hit points in the Foch 155 to get lit. That's amazing. He's not lit yet. He's right there. He's knocked down enough trees and stuff that he's got himself dark. That's amazing. I mean, wow. That is a big TD. Gonna do a little lead fire. I don't think he hit him. Not sure if he hit him. It's not showing it. Let's see, 268. Yeah, that might be it. Was that 268 there before he fired? Let's find out. Did he get some damage while stunned out of that? Very possibly. Have we locked up? Also possible. There we go. Nope, he already has the 268 while stunned. That last shot didn't get in there. Or if it did, it didn't register and it showed up on the cards. Alright, there you go, guys. A nicely played game by Jeb2 from Clan LTWHR and his FV207 running the small gun and doing the things that the small guns can do on some of these higher tier artillery pieces, which is really just harass the living snot out of everything and everyone. You can shoot on all kinds of places on the map. I mean, clearly you're top down, so you can do that anyway. But because of the speed of the reload, you can be everywhere. And it's harder to guess when you're dealing with an artillery like this, who they're targeting and what they're targeting. We do have the little circles that show up that give you a general idea, but because of the speed of the reload on these kinds of tanks, these kind of artillery, you might see that thing down in the southeast a couple times and think, he's ignoring us over here on the west, and the next thing you know, he's shooting you 21, 22 seconds later. So that's one of the beauties of those things. Now, they're not going to be that massive hammer blow that some of the bigger TDs give, but in terms of just completely harrying and harassing people, and to be honest, that's kind of what the strength of artillery is now. Instead of those great big massive strikes, it's more of a harassment and harry kind of gameplay at this point. It might be that kind of gun is the one to go with. If you're looking for things like stun time and stuff like that, the small guns can really help out with that as well. All right, that's all I've got. Every, month or two, we got to have an artillery replay. Do we? I don't know. That's all I've got. We will see ya.